barriers between what is true and what is make-believe, because the truth in the poems that I make may just make you see things more clearly. Constantly questioning, can you hear me? Knowing that my best politicians fear me. Politics, do you feel me? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Sometimes I gotta scream and shout to get my point across, but the only way to find the right way is to first realize you're lost. This poetry is painful, searching for the rainbow, yet I share my most private, quiet conversations and tell my stories of poetic exaggeration. I am a poet, and an actor, and a voice actor, and a writer, and a producer, and the Prince of the Fire Nation, and the leader of the Lost Boys, and I was this kid named Ruben in the movie called The Debut, and I am Dante Basco. Nice to meet you guys. Hello. I'm excited to be here tonight with you, Penn, and just walked around the campus and kind of just got to take in like all of this history, and it's pretty amazing. I'm here to just kind of tell you my story, maybe do a few poems, and just kind of share my experiences of who I am and where I've been. And I don't know, here's some of yours. I love kind of talking to you guys just because I look at you guys and it's like, it's your time, it's your generation. Like I'm super inspired by what you guys are doing. So basically for me, like I said, I'm an actor. I've been an actor / dancer for longer than everybody in this room has been alive. For sure. I mean, there's like not even a teacher in here or a professor or a TA, nobody. Are you a grad student? I think I got you still. So I've been acting for 27 years. 27 years? Did I got you? There you go. When you were born, I moved to LA and started acting. But I'm an artist. I'm an actor. I do all these other things, right? And what it is ultimately it's under that realm of being an artist. And so the entertainment industry. Even before I was an actor, even before I came to town to act at 27 years ago, I started my life as an entertainer at the ground level of entertainment. Do you guys know what the ground level of entertainment is? The very first thing, it's called street performing. Performing in the streets. I'm from San Francisco, and so in San Francisco, me and my brothers were a group called the Street Freaks, break dancers. And we were break dancers in the birth of hip hop in the 80s, and we danced at Pier 39, we danced at Telegraph Avenue. We were some of those kids that are still in the street today with a hat. And we'd raise money on the weekends and buy pizza. And we just did it, not for money or anything, we just did it because we loved breakdancing and we loved to dance. That's the entry level of performing. It's kind of crazy. And from that to making movies in Hollywood and doing everything in between, it's just been a crazy journey for me. Now, not only do we breakdance, at that time we got picked up by the San Francisco Ballet Company and we learned ballet. And so me and my brothers were these kids from the neighborhood, from Pittsburgh, California, which is a very hoodie kind of neighborhood, and we're just breakdancers. And then all of a sudden, we got introed into this world of art, of ballet. I mean, if you think about these kids wearing baggy pants and just on the streets b-boying, and then all of a sudden the San Francisco Ballet Company, which is this very prestigious ballet company, gives us scholarships, and then all of a sudden we're in tights and ballet shoes, and we're going there 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, in these beautiful buildings in San Francisco, learning ballet and doing the Nutcracker. And it was like this really eye-opening experience. I watched that movie Billy Elliot, and it like moves me to tears because it's so much of what I kind of went through as a kid, you know? And the great thing of that is it opens the world of the arts to you. And the world of the arts for an urban kid, it was like a whole new world. I mean, I was talking about it earlier with some kids as far as Harry Potter. You guys watch it? Anyone like Harry Potter? Yeah. Me too. So when I watch Harry Potter, what it says to me is, yeah, that's not the artist. It's like, if you become an artist, if you become a creator in the world, make no, you know, don't sleep on it. You become a wizard, straight up. Like there are wizards and there are muggles, and that's what happens. It's like all my friends in LA that become actors and artists and writers, I'm like, yo, we're wizards. It sounds funny, but it's so true. It's like, you're the ones creating everything. And your family may be muggles. Like, they may not understand what you're doing. They're like, I don't understand why you're staying up all night to learn this play, or to write this song, or to shoot this video, or to do this cosplay, or to do, you know, this drawing. And the same thing, you know, you watch Harry Potter, the same thing. They don't understand. And then you turn around like, because we make magic. We make magic and we impact the world. And what I've been able to do, you know, it wasn't until I got older to realize the impact I was able to have in the world, especially within the Asian American community, especially within the Filipino American community, which I never grew up thinking of myself as an Asian actor or as a Filipino actor. It never even really occurred to me, you know, that I was, because you kind of, you know, the way my parents raised us was just, we were very colorblind in how we grew up. But then you get to Hollywood, and in Hollywood, it's crazy because Hollywood is the only industry in America that can do something very illegal. I guess they do a lot of illegal things. Right? Like everything in America, we're all Americans. We know that you cannot hire a person based on their gender, based on their ethnicity, based on how they look, based on their sexual preference. This is like, we all know that's pretty much illegal to do. But within Hollywood, that's the first reason why we're looking for you. We're saying, what do you look like? We need to, you know, what's your race? Can you play this? Can you play that? And what happens is, for Asian Americans, we're like the most underrepresented group in mainstream media. And it's like, what? So it's kind of crazy, right? Now I've been an actor for over 27 years. And what is that, an underestimated group? That means for every 100 roles, 100, hello? That beatbox. For every 100 roles that comes out, Caucasian roles, there's one Asian role that comes out. So it's like 1% of the roles that come out are representing us, right? And so there's like a famine situation going on. And someone goes, how are you able to survive so long in an industry where there's no roles for you? And I don't know. I have no idea. I guess I'm lucky. But there's things that I've done that kind of help for the next generation that I want to, because it's very important to me. I've only realized recently, as I've grown up, the importance of what's happened in my career. You know, like now these new kids are coming up, a lot of kids from YouTube, a lot of these new generation artists that grew up watching me and ask my advice, and I'm always going, I'm trying to figure out what I did right in my career, what can we do for the next generation, and it's really becoming an important part of what's going on now as me as a producer and a writer. But we keep going, you know. I started acting. I was discovered by Steven Spielberg in a movie called Hook. You saw Hook? So I played Rufio. That was a cool character. I mean, I had to be the leader of the Lost Boys, which is crazy. Because it's one of those movies, first and foremost, that you come to town to do. It's like the biggest film in town with all the biggest stars. And the Lost Boys, this new age Lost Boys, was this group of multi-ethnic Lost Boys. And they got me to be the leader of it, which is like this Filipino American, this Asian American kid to lead this group of multi-ethnic rebel rousers. I didn't even think about how important that was till later on in life. Things happen, right? So I have friends now that go, and I have friends, people come up to me in the street all the time, and they'll go, you know, my wife? I'm like, yeah? She's like, I mean, she had a crush on you growing up, and I know you're definitely one of the reasons why she married me. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, wow. That that thing, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I always get written like, you're the reason why I date Asian guys. Which just sounds crazy. But I'm like, you're welcome. You know, I hope you're having a good time with that. It's funny, but I think there's something important about that. There's certain things I've done in my career that helped open the eyes of America, you know, and beyond to really show you what an Asian American could be, more than just the stereotypical roles that they create for us. The 1% of the roles that they're like, the nerd, the whatever. We can always fill in the blank of what is perceived to be what it was. One of the major things I feel in my career is I've been able to like expand what it is to be Asian American, which is basically what it is to be American, or what it is to be a person. So I think that's part of the power that we have as artists and what we can do. And like I said, Rufio was one of those big things. And originally it was Stephen cast a white kid that ended up, I guess, firing to get me. I don't know. But I guess part of the night is telling Hollywood stories. So one of the stories is like Rufio's cool now, right? Like we look at Rufio, Halloween comes, I get all these pictures of people cosplaying Rufio. It's cool. But when we were doing Rufio, like when I got the part and I want to be Rufio, right? This is cool. I'm like this 15-year-old kid and I think, wow, I'm gonna be this is a cool character. But we don't know what Rufio looks like. There's all these drawings. There's this drawing of me with like dreadlocks. I was like, that's kind of cool. Dreadlocks, like Lenny Kravitz, that's cool. And then I'm in the costume thing situation, and they're putting this Michael Jackson clothes on me. I was like, what is this? They shredded up a Michael Jackson jacket. Then I got like my belly button showing, like the midriff. I was like, man, this is not cool. I got the skin tight jeans on with like the spandex underneath, and I'm thinking, dude, I don't know about this. And then I go to hair, and they put the Trihawks on me, right? They got not one mohawk, they got 3 mohawks. And I was like, what are we doing? And they're like, oh, we're gonna use the mohawk. I'm like, all 3 of them? They're like, yeah. So the hair people put them. I'm like 2 hours in hair. They got the mohawks on me. I got the Michael Jackson jacket on. This is 91. Michael Jackson was not cool in 91. It was like past his cool era. We're like, this is not cool. And I got the rip end of my belly button showing. And I'm walking on the set and I'm hoping like maybe this is not the look they're gonna want. You know what I'm saying? Because they had like, the dreadlock thing was cool, wasn't it? I come around the corner, past the camera, and Steven Spielberg right there, and he like turns around and he looks at me, he's like, yes. And you gotta be cool because, you know, you're getting paid. You're like, yeah, you like? This is it? He's like, that's it, this is it. You walk off the set like, oh my God, my belly button's gonna be all over this movie. So now it's classic. Now it's cool. Now it's like I see someone cosplaying Rufio and they don't got the midriff on. I'm like, you're not really doing it right, man. If you ain't showing the belly button, you ain't doing it right. Someone get some scissors and have this person out. So that's Rufio. And we keep going. We grow up. Like I said, I was a dancer first. So dancing is like my first love. I did a movie called Take the Lead. You want to see Take the Lead? Yeah? Dancers? There's dancers in the house? Any dancers? Yeah, so I'm a dancer. So once a dancer, always a dancer. I love dancers. I will probably dance till the day I die. I dated a lot of dancers growing up because they're sexy. And going back to dance in a film was like a dream come true. Like I said, it's like one of those things that you do that it's like a full circle of your career. You kind of get to come back and do what you started doing. For me, one of the reasons I became an actor was John Travolta in Grease. I like Grease. I love musicals, and Take the Lead was like a musical to me. So doing a musical movie was me coming back to my childhood and just having fun and just reconnecting to why I started entertainment in the first place. And it was basically to get down, you know? So I love Take the Lead. If you haven't seen Take the Lead, please see Take the Lead. It's one of my favorite movies I've done. And acting, like anything in life, you know, there's a lot of things that you plan. I want to do this movie, I want to do that play. And then there's certain things that just kind of open up. You got to be open in life to when doors open up to just walk through them. I never planned to be a voiceover actor, like voiceover, never. I didn't go to school for that, I have no idea. I mean, I went to school to act, but I never specified in my mind, like, I want to voice act. And just one of those opportunities opened up, and it really opened up a whole new part of my career. Through my spoken word poetry, I started doing ad campaigns for Sprite and for Nike, things like that. And then Cartoon Network created this pilot called Kitty Bobo, and I played this cat named Kitty Bobo. So funny. It didn't go to series, we did the pilot, and it was so cool. And I was this cool cat that was adopted by these dogs. It's weird. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. It's called Kitty Bobo. Yeah, I don't know. But he was adopted by dogs. I thought that was cool. But didn't go. But then that kind of leap, that kind of like jump-started my voiceover career. And then I booked a show called Jake Long, the American Dragon. Yeah, Jake Long. You guys grew up with Jake Long. He was like dragging up. Yeah. So Jake Long, I just stumbled. That was literally my first job as a voiceover actor, doing like a series, and I didn't know what I was doing most of the time. And you know, because it was like, I don't know, like I was just like improvising a lot of stuff. For me, Jake Long was a lot like me growing up, like this just cool kid. That was, not that I was cool, just like he was a cool kid. But he was also into hip hop. To me, it was like a hip hop show. I'm doing the first press conference for American Dragon, and this is back in the day, like first year. I remember it was like High School Musical was just coming out, and like I was doing the press tour with them, and I had no idea who they were. It's like I'm talking to Zac Efron, like, what do you guys do? Like, we're High School Musical. I'm like, what's a High School Musical? And then that blew up. But we're funny, so we're talking to the foreign press, and I'm telling the foreign press, like, I'm so excited because Disney has a hip hop show. Like and I'm like going about this whole thing about, I love that Disney has this multi-ethnic hip hop show, and I get to do all this stuff, hip hop and rapping and all this stuff. And then the president of Disney comes on after me, like, I didn't know we had a hip hop show. Like, yo man, you hired me. And Jake Long raps, and he's a hip hop kid. And we're like, cause he's like, it's the J to the A to the K to the E. So I love that show. I just went through a lot of times there where I was learning what I was doing on the mic. But it never stopped. People ask about voice acting. And my biggest thing about voice acting is just, I don't segregate voice acting from acting. It's like, I'm an actor. We're going to act. I'm going to give you the same performance for that character, whether it's in front of a camera or in front of a microphone. And part of becoming an actor is studying and becoming a really good actor. A lot of people that want to come in the entertainment field is like, I want to act, I want to do this and that. And I tell them, do you really want to? Because you understand what it takes. I studied acting 20 years straight, 3 to 5 days a week, 20 years. I didn't go to college, but I was in acting school for 20 years. And still study today if I need to brush up on things or study things, or we do theater or whatnot. But in actual conservatory acting school, 20 years straight. And I tell young actors, do you want to put that much work in? Because that's kind of what it takes. Part of coming to LA and coming into acting is everybody from all over the country that were the best actors in their school, the prettiest people, come to LA. So it's full of pretty people and it's full of actors. So the best way to try to succeed is to be really good. Especially if you're ethnic. Ethnic actors ask me all the time, like, what should I do? I'm like, be good enough to beat the white kids out of roles. It's funny, but it's true. Again, like I said, for an Asian actor, it's 1% of the roles. If you look at my career, most of the roles I've done, including Rufio, was not an Asian role. So the only way to get that role is to audition against white kids for white roles, audition against black kids for black roles, and somehow win. But that's any business. I think it's for acting, I think it's for any business. Like, we have to get really good at what we do. Probably the reason why you're at this university, right? So the voice acting takes off. And while I'm doing Jake Long, comes a show called Avatar: The Last Airbender. Another one of those situations that you guys cheer. It's awesome now. At the time, it didn't sound that awesome to me. Not bad. I mean, I love being a part of the Avatar family. I'm just saying, put it in this context. So they send me the script. I'm reading this script, and I'm like, this is like anime. What is this? Like, it's definitely Jokin anime, right? Super Asian, super epic. Kung Fu, Shaolin, they're like talking about Northern Shaolin, it's like the Wind Temple, like they're talking about styles. It's definitely Asian, epic Asian anime. I'm like, I know what this is, right? I'm Asian, goddammit. So they send me the script, and then they're like, oh, and then Nickelodeon's doing it. I'm like, what? Nickelodeon is doing this? And then I rolled to Nickelodeon, and in LA you go to Nickelodeon, right? Especially, it's changed a little bit, but back in those days, you go to Nickelodeon, it's this big white building, and the roof is all green with slime. You know, slime, a Double Dare slime, right? So it's all slimed out the building, and then, you walk up, there's like big statues of SpongeBob, like a big SpongeBob statue, and then like a big, super big poster of like cat dog, like those days, Yeah, like that's Nickelodeon. I'm like, Nickelodeon ain't no anime company. Like, this ain't gonna work. You know what? They're really trying to do some anime. This is SpongeBob. And then I go in there and I'll read it, and the character's name is Zuko. But I'm a Grease fan, so I'm like, oh, it's like Danny Zuko. He's cool. Yeah, see? And then I just thought I was a bad guy. And so the show goes, and I was like surprised, like, oh, the show's gonna go. We're gonna do like 20 episodes. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. And I didn't even realize how popular it became. It was like, we're doing the show, and I didn't even realize how special Zuko was. You know what I'm saying? The first season, I thought I was just this bad guy. Like, oh, I'm the bad guy. That's cool. I could be the bad guy. Whatever. And then somewhere in the second season, like, certain things were happening. And I was like, yo, this dude's amazing. Like, I think, you're like, something's happening here. Hold on a second. Something's happening. And not just me, like the rest of the cast, Nate Whitman and Jack DeSena were like, yo, did you read this week? We're coming to the reading, like, did you read that? I'm like, yeah, this is crazy. And then I'm actually shooting Take the Lead, and I'm going away in the middle of the filming in Toronto to do the voiceover for the show. And one of the cast members are like, the big dude, Brandon Andrews, is like, where are you going all the time? I'm like, oh, I do a cartoon. It's a cartoon. I'm gonna go do it. He's like, what cartoon? I'm like, it's called Avatar. It's on Nickelodeon. He's like, what? What are you doing on Avatar? I'm like, oh, I'm this character Zuko. You're the Prince of the Fire Nation? Yeah. And then actually through his eyes was the first time I really got to see like this was like becoming a bigger thing. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like 20 years old. He wasn't like a little kid watching the show. He was like an adult watching the show and like geeking out. And then I brought some of the tapings with me, and then that really kind of started giving me the hunch, like, oh, this is really starting to get popular. And then people started coming up to me in the streets for my voice, which is weird because it's just weird. Like you'll be at Starbucks or something and you're like, can I get a white chocolate latte? And they're like, are you Prince Zuko? And you're like, yes, I am Prince Zuko. I would like that white chocolate latte, please. Tall, please. But I never even realized people like keyed into voices that much. Where, like my Tumblr, a lot of people want to marry my voice. But that's Prince Zuko, you know? I'm proud of that. Now, we're doing Q&A in a bit, but we'll continue the conversation. I've grown up acting my whole life and still act to this day. But like I said earlier, one of the most important things as I've grown up is my work now as a writer and as a producer. What had started that, some of it comes from Avatar. Because Mako, who plays my Uncle Iroh. You guys know Mako? Yeah, I love Mako. He passed away our last season of shooting of the film. And it was such an emotional thing for everybody in the Avatar family, but also very emotional for me. He really, he played my uncle or my father in like 3 or 4 things in my career. So he's always been like that figure to me, like a mentor. So I'm like so blessed to kind of be on that last project with him. And we actually, we would sit and talk about, God, what if this ever became a movie? Like it'd be great for me and Mako to get together and do these roles with each other. Because we played these roles with each other for a lot of years. So it's kind of sad when he passed away. But what had happened was, when he passed away, one of the things I realized in LA that, we celebrated Mako and his career because he's a prolific actor and a very prolific Asian American actor. He was nominated for an Oscar for a film called Sand Pebbles with Steve McQueen. He started the biggest and the longest going Asian American theater company called East West Players, which I've been able to do plays in. And he was like that figure that was very, very important as an Asian American actor in Hollywood. But what he taught me still after he passed away was like, oh my God, I'm part of that lineage. He's like, I'm part of that lineage. Like after I realized my career and how many times I worked with him and these young guys looking up to me, I was like, oh my God, like Mako did so much with his career outside of his own personal career, but what he did also for the community. And it's one of the lessons he taught me after he passed away. It's like, it's time for me to do certain things like that, and that kind of led me to create my production company, Kinetic Films. So I do have this film company called Kinetic Films. It's a Asian American Pacific Islander film company coming out of Honolulu. We released our first film. I don't know if you know anybody named Kev Jumba. You guys know Kev Jumba? Yeah. So me and Kev Jumba co-wrote and co-starred in a movie together called Hang Loose that we shot out in Hawaii. Yeah. You saw that? That's awesome. Awesome. So we've done 3 more. There's one with Kev and Justin Sean coming out called Man Up. And then I did another film, a drama called Paradise Broken. That's coming out soon. And then we're about to shoot a film right now that I co-wrote for a kid named AJ Rufio. You guys know AJ Rufio? Yes, AJ is, his film's called, it's cutting out. His film's called Red Roses. You guys know Red Roses is an album? So I wrote the movie around it. It's our first musical. It's called Red Roses, the movie, which is going to be very cool. But part of this came about where like a lot of young actors have come to me over the years, especially at colleges coming out of art school or whatnot, and they're like, Dante, what can I do? What advice do you have to give to me as a young actor? I want to come to LA and I want to do what you did. And part of it was like I'm looking at this young actor, especially an Asian American young actor, right? And you're going, there's no roles for you, man. You can't tell them that. You know what I'm saying? You tell them, get good at what you do. But part of your mind is if you weren't me or John Cho or a handful of other cats from our generation that were getting the roles, like there wasn't enough roles for everybody to work. You know what I'm saying? Part of me didn't like that answer in my head. And one of my goals now as like a young veteran actor in LA, Asian American, is to really help create the Asian American film genre now. So we're doing a lot of things, working not only with my company, Kinetic, which is trying to put out 4 or 5 films a year, but also working a lot with these young kids, Kev Jumba, Tim Delgado, Ryan Higa, all the YouTube kids, getting them to start creating films, JK Films, the Funk Brothers, along with a bunch of other executives that we met recently, really have this plan to really formulate and create just this Asian American genre for us for the first time. The thing about YouTube, all the hits that a lot of these Asian American kids are getting, they're really, I think like Asians are like half the top 50 or something like that, something crazy, some kind of crazy number. And it's just showing mainstream media that even though you're not representing us in mainstream media, like we want to see our likeness a lot. And mainstream media is not really servicing us that way. And part of what I'm saying in our generation is we need to create this whole genre for ourselves. And that's part of what the movement's going on in Los Angeles right now with a lot of young kids. We're really trying to hybrid the YouTube digital world with the mainstream world and create this situation where we're actually making movies for a lot of reasons. To really, first and foremost, to tell stories. We have a lot of stories to tell that are our stories, that are Asian American stories. Some that may be identity, but others are just us doing things, hanging out, you know? It's very important to really put Asian Americans as leads. The whole thing about my film is, my film company, Kinetic Films, is not about telling Asian stories. It's more about having pop culture films with Asian American leads. The story we're following an Asian face as opposed to following an African American face or a Caucasian face. And that's just subliminal stuff that I want to do for our company, just to keep the word, just to tell stories out there, but also to help create the next generation of stars. People talk about the Avatar movie. Did you guys watch the Avatar movie? Me neither. I didn't watch it. I mean, nothing against it. I mean, I heard it's not good, but my biggest gripe with it was just the casting of Aang. You know, I grew up in a town where I got my big break in a big budget film, and I know what a big budget film could do for an ethnic actor and how it can launch someone's career and give someone a career. I mean, you have a very good chance to cast a young Asian lead in a role that is Asian American. It's Asian. You know what I'm saying? His name is Aang. It's just a missed opportunity from my point of view. It's like you missed the ability to give a young kid the opportunity to possibly have a different kind of career. Because the lead of that film, the fan base was there, and you didn't need any of the names. There was no names. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're hiring Justin Bieber to be Aang. Thank God. No, you know, for a while, Justin DePartment was supposed to play Zuko. That was kind of upsetting to me a little bit. No disrespect to Jesse, I don't know you that well, but at least when they got Cal, I was like, I mean, when they got Dev, I was like, that's cool. Like, I mean, I didn't see it. Anyone see it? Was it good? Horrible? I don't. Mike and Brian, the creators of Avatar, told me to do not see it. You do not, Dante, just don't watch it, man. I'm like, alright. I kind of do want to watch it, though. But when I do, I told people, like, on my Tumblr heads and stuff, like, we'll watch it together. We'll just live stream it, and we'll just watch it and comment on it, or live blog, at least the first 15 minutes. If we could do that. It's not bad, huh? So I'm like walking around. So that's what I'm doing now, producing and writing. Also writing plays. I just wrote a play in LA called Midnight Makeout Session. So yeah, I'll bring it out here sometime. Doing pretty good in LA. But my career spans like over the last 25 years, and I have plenty more stories to tell. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of questions. Can we go into Q&A? Yeah. Is that cool? I don't know who's right here. Oh, can we go into Q&A?
Yeah.
Yes. You're hiding behind the pedestal.
I don't want to block anyone.
We have we continue this conversation, but let's, it's just any questions. I mean, my whole career is open. Yeah.
Okay. Two quick questions. First, can you show us some fire venues?
Not right now. I can't show you. I might have a microphone in my hand and a tie on. We could
Burn it off.
If I had to stuff the effects, I would definitely do some stuff. Yeah, second question?
Second question. So how do you feel that a lot of the main characters in Avatar are voiced by Caucasian American people?
How do I feel about that? I don't know. I mean, like I said, originally, we didn't know what we were doing. I didn't, like I said, I was like, how's this going to work? This is anime? I don't even know what's going on here. I don't know, because a lot of the intimate stuff for me was like me and Mako. Again, it was always an Asian show to me, and I think everyone was kind of knowing that. Mike and Brian, especially, are very, very in tune with that. I guess even doing all the martial arts and doing everything, they're so detailed in how they kind of created it. As far as the voicing, it's hard to say because the actual race of each of the characters is always up to like, I don't know, like, or your opinion. I guess the Water Tribe is more Inuit, right? But I don't know how many, we can go find Inuit actors? I don't know. I mean, the Fire Nation always definitely is Asian, but what Asian? Maybe Japan? Maybe imperialistic? A little bit? Right? I don't know. Mako is Japanese, so I was just rolling with Mako. And Mako has a Japanese accent, and I was just rolling with him. But it's weird, it's hard to say, because like, we don't know. I always just assumed he was some kind of Asian-ish, you know? So, I mean, I get what people say, well, he was white. Well, okay, maybe, but the whole thing is so Asian influenced that if you leave that out of the live action telling, it's confusing, you know? Very confusing. But I don't know, it's hard to say. One of the great things that I've loved about voice acting is because it's your voice, we can get a little bit away from having to be based on ethnicity. Again, one of the things about Hollywood is like it's so based on it, and rightfully so, I guess, if people are going to be the same family or you're trying to do some culture, you need to stick close to that culture. You know, the days of a white person playing an Asian person is, I think, gone, right? Almost? I hope. I mean, not in the last Airbender. I mean, Johnny Depp played Tonto. How was that? That wasn't well received. Like, I don't think you can do that these days. The days of, like, you know what I'm saying, playing yellow face or playing black face, it just can't do it. But then, at the same time, how far do we go, right? Because I'm Filipino, so if I have to wait for a Filipino role, I'm screwed. There's no Filipino roles. It's like, I mean, there are some Filipinos that come in, and then, like, they call up my agent. They're like, we wrote this for Dante, right? Which is cool, but that's like 1 out of a million. So it's like, I've been in that place too, because being Filipino, we're like Spanish, Asian, like half of my roles are like Latino roles. I've had like Latino actors going, what the are you doing playing Puerto Rican? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, what? I'm just, you know, they shaved my head and I was Puerto Rican for a month or two, you know? I mean, that's like, I feel weird about that, because the very thing of being an actor is we're supposed to be able to play everything. It's like when we're acting, we're just playing. We could be anything. You could be a friggin' bird or a dolphin, you know? So when you bring race into it, it gets a little sticky, and it's always a case-by-case scenario. Like Memoirs of a Geisha, right? They hired a Genji to play a Japanese girl, and people were so upset about that. But you're like, she wasn't white, you know what I'm saying? I mean, she has a very big name, especially in China and internationally, and it's like there's no other Asian actresses out there that can rival that. That's the big thing I tell Asian Americans or anybody. You know, a lot of people go, is Hollywood racist? And I'm like, no, Hollywood isn't racist. Hollywood's a business. It's a business. And part of what I want to do with creating the Asian American genre is to help the business part out. Part of the reason why there's no Asian TV show or there's not enough Asian representation in mainstream media is because we haven't showed them our dollars yet. It's all like any business. It's about making money in the end. I mean, the artist side of us want to scream this, but the business side is it's about making money. And so we have to show them that we can make money. The reality is we can. The reality is we're the most affluent ethnic group in America. There's no reason why mainstream shouldn't cater more to the most affluent ethnic group in America. But the problem is with this. Like a few years ago, I'm promoting this Asian American film, and I'm trying to get this PR company to like do this thing for this Asian American film, right? I'm like, we need to promote the Asian American community, and they're like, what? Like, we need to promote the Asian American community. Like, oh, we don't do that. I'm like, why not? I'm like, we got money. They're like, but this is the deal. You know, they said it not in a racist way. Like, Asian Americans are a model minority, which means what? It means broad statement. They live in the neighborhoods they want to live in. Their kids go to the schools they want to go to. They drive the cars they want. They're like, you've assimilated into America. So everything that we promote to Caucasians, Asians are already buying. Why? We already have the Asian money. Why are we spending one more dollar on something we already have? And I sat in the room like, damn, you're right. I'm looking at this dude like, I wouldn't spend an extra dollar either. You know, I mean, I get what they're saying, and it makes sense for them, but now for us as a community, it's on us. If we want to be more, our voice to be more out there, it's time for us to create the Asian American genre. I think it's happening. The artists need to kind of come up, start to rise, and it's not one artist, it's a bunch of artists. It's not just actors or a film, it's actors and singers, and obviously ABDC, gang of dancers. You know, the movement is starting to happen, and as this movement's happening, hopefully we can get enough analytics together where we can really show what the money is. Because really, that's your vote, the dollars. And when the dollars start adding up, then we can start to see more catering to these communities where, because in the end, it's a business, they want the money. But thank you. Questions? Yes?
Something on the lighter end, what are your thoughts on Avatar?
Oh, yeah. Legend of Korra. I like Legend of Korra, they brought me back. So, Korra, I'm super proud of, I mean, Mike and Brian are the creators of Avatar. And so I'm super proud, they're like my buddies. Let's still like a whole family, Avatar family. And so when they came back and they're telling me about this new thing, of course they could have just been like, it could have just been, you know, the continuation of the stories, which would have been awesome. I'd love to see Zuko do some stuff with his mother and all that kind of stuff. But for them to push it into the future, 100 years, I was like, wow, that's great. And to really take this world, like, fast forward in that way, to make the Avatar a woman, was awesome. Yeah, I think that was, like, super cool. And they're, you know, and also bring it to the mechanical age. It was, you know, all of a sudden machines start to happen within this world. I was super proud of them. So I really love the new show. And then the fact that I get to come back and play my grandson. It's kind of weird, but cool. But I was in the first cast one that kind of got to be part of the new cast. So I love that. Questions? Yeah.
Will we see any more General Iroh this season?
Will we? I don't know. People asked me that before, and I forgot the last episode that just came on.
The last time you were on was the president saying you can't leave a public city.
Right. I don't know. Honestly, this is the thing is like we do them like a year in advance. You know, at least a year in advance, so I get confused on when things happen. We'll see. I can't say. This is the other thing. Nickelodeon will yell at me. They were so mad when I first said I was coming back. You know, because like, are you gonna come back? I'm like, oh yeah. And then I was on the internet, and then I'm in trouble. Literally, like, Nickelodeon's calling my management company, yelling at them to yell at me. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, they knew. They were just asking me, and they showed me artwork. What do you want me to do? Questions? Yeah.
What's it like working with like smaller YouTubers, like, well, not small, but like JK Films?
Yeah, JK Films is dope. I'm super inspired by all the YouTube phenomena, you know? These kids are really production companies. I mean, a lot of, like, for like Kev, I told Kev when I was doing Hang Loose with him, I was like, dude, you're a child prodigy. To me, you know, I've been in this business my whole life. I see what you're doing. You're basically writing, directing, producing, acting, editing. You're running a station. And you're doing everything pretty good and making a lot of money doing it. Like, that to me is a child prodigy. And you don't even know what you're doing yet. I mean, not really. Not to diss him on that. I'm just saying in the aspect of how films are being made. So it's like you're already doing what you're doing at such a high level. Once you learn the other stuff, like, sky's the limit. Same thing with JK Films. And it's not to diss any of these kids. It's really saying what I tell my generation. They call we call it traditional media. They call it the old school media. Like, yo, old school media. I'm like, damn, really? But there's so much that my generation can learn from your generation, the new generation, because the things you guys know and what you've done digitally and what everybody knows, you know, secondhand is so much that can teach us and how they really changed the game. But then at the same token, there's still a lot from your generation left from our generation. So it's just this very great time for entertainment, time for media, because people can get a lot of things created right now, which we're trying to do. Question? Yes, go on.
What was like your first interaction with like the fan community? Do you have any like weird shipping stories?
Yeah, fan community could be weird. She took a 10. You know, with the shipping world. Yeah, you guys know what shipping is? Does anybody not know what shipping is? Yeah? Shipping is basically relationships. So it's basically taking characters. A lot of times it's animated characters, but it could be any characters. It could be yourself and an animated character, as a matter of fact. And then you ship them together, like you put them in a relationship. Actually, it happens in real life. It happens in tabloids all the time, right? I think like Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck or Bennifer. That's the other thing. Once you ship people together, they get a shipping code name. Like Katara and Aang are Katang. But I'm a Zutara. Zutara and Zuko and Katara, and also known as Zutara, and the people that rock with them are Zutarans, I guess. I roll with that. I always thought, I mean, even though they didn't end up together, it's okay. They had that moment. Sometimes that moment is worth a lot. Sometimes you write more poetry about that moment than about the other stuff. But as far as fans go, like 99% of the time, like, fans are super cool. Like, so cool. And my thing is, like, if you're cool to fans, like, they're cool to you, usually. You know? Like, and sometimes it's like, if you're getting kissed, you know what I'm saying? You walk into a place, and someone kisses you, and like, you know, guys, they make split-second decisions. Like, man, this girl's kind of cute. And you're like, I'm just gonna kiss back. And then you're gonna, like, let her go and just keep walking. And then your homie's like, what was that? I was like, I don't even know, man. I don't know. That's happened. I told this story at a con. I guess I can tell it here. I told it at a con. I can tell it here. There were some kids at that con, too. You guys are at least all adults, right? So, here's the story. Yeah, I'm gonna tell this story. Shooting this shit. I'm gonna tell the story. So, again, I'm gonna tell the story. So, I'm on Melrose, right? Melrose is in LA. It's a cool little part town. And I'm on Melrose, and I'm having a drink with my cousin. And my cousin's from the Bay. This kid, he's like Oakland, so he's like thuggish. Right? A little bit lightweight thug. And so we're just having drinks, we're outside having some drinks. I don't know, we might have been having a smoke, I don't know, we were just doing some LA stuff. And so these girls come over and they're like, super geeking out. And they're cool. And I take pictures with them, but then they go back to this place and there's a guy with them, right? So we're having more drinks later on. It's later on the night, and then, I don't know, this guy must have worked up his nerve, right? So he comes up, and the guy comes up to me, and he's a fan. And I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, I'm such a fan. I'm like, oh, cool. Jeez. I'm like, cool. And he's like talking to me, and he's like, oh my God, I'm such a fan. I'm like, that's cool. Like, we can take pictures of him. He's like, yeah, but you look so great. And I'm like, thanks, man. He's like, I love your style. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I mean, I've been following you for years and you still look so good. I'm like, thanks. And he's like, I swear to God, I'll suck your dick. I was like, what? And he's like, I don't even care if I get arrested, I swear to God. And he's drunk, alright? He's drunk. And my thug cousin jumps up like, hey man, what's up, man? And I'm like, yo, cuz, just chill out. No, yo, man, I'm flattered, but I'm good. Yo, girls, your dude right here is like, and he just kept going, like, I swear to God, I don't even care. And I'm like, dude, this guy needs to care. Because this isn't going down right now. I mean, it would be weird if a girl did that. It was all weird. It was very strange. But that went down one night in LA. He was a fan. I was appreciative of the compliment. I did not partake. But, I wanted to keep his honor. Everybody went home with their honor intact that night. Questions? More questions? Yes,
Do you know what happened to Zuko's mother?
No, I don't. You know what? It's coming down. Have you read the comic yet? The Search. You guys read The Search? Yeah, so if you read The Search, which is a comic book, the first trilogy was the Promise, the second is The Search. The Search is Zuko looking for his mom. But you can read them, but you can also go to my YouTube page because I read some excerpts from The Search 1 and Search 2. Question. Yes, back there with the glasses.
First of all, you're awesome.
Thank you.
Second of all, what's your dream role?
My what?
Your dream role.
My dream role. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it changes, There is a biopic that we're going after right now in my company. That would be a dream role for me to play. And I don't want to talk about it right now because I'm waiting to get the rights. But it's like skateboarder-esque. It's a skateboarder. But it's a true story. I'd love to do that. Now that I'm writing, I get to write some really good stuff. The play that I have out right now in Los Angeles is called Midnight Makeout Session. And I'm a poet. I'm supposed to do some more poems, man. We were just talking. I forgot about some poems. I'll do another poem before I go, for sure. And so this play is called The Midnight Makeout Session. It's about these three friends getting back to the romance of their first kiss, like junior high, like midnight makeout session, like slow dancing. Basically, I try to get everybody to slow dance and make out. And that role is awesome because all the monologues are spoken word pieces, and I wrote all the poems. And so I wrote the whole play, I wrote all the poems, so I get to do all these poems, and that's kind of a dream role because I get to change things up. But I don't know, a dream role probably would be like something like, like a James Bond thing. That'd be cool. Like a cool ass hip hop James Bond that gets to dance. And like a musical, like a dancing musical James Bond. Get a different hot chick every movie. International relations. Yeah. Question? Yeah, go ahead.
Is there any place in the world that you'd like to visit but haven't done so yet?
Yeah, I love traveling. I would like to visit, Italy. I haven't been to Italy, and I'd love to go to Italy because, I love the food, but I read a lot of Dan Brown books, so he always talk about museums and stuff. Like, I gotta go there to see if he's telling the truth. But I love, like, Italy, probably Italy and Thailand. Like, those two, like, I want to go to Thailand and ride some elephants and eat some Thai food, like real Thai food. Questions? Yeah, in the yellow. Yeah, that I dark out. I've been geeking out on a bunch of stuff, like Game of Thrones. Yeah, Game of Thrones. I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I read all that. I love Harry Potter. I read all the books. I use Harry Potter isms in my life as analogies. This campus reminds me of Hogwarts sometimes. What else do I geek out to? I think, I've gotten involved in this whole fandom world and Comic-Con. Like, I have other friends that are like, man, it's so weird, right? They're like, what the hell, you're so weird. It's like so weird you go on Comic-Cons and they try to like distance themselves from like the geeking out thing, right? And I'm like, y'all ain't getting it. Like, everybody geeks out about something. You know what I'm saying? I told my buddy, like, look, on Sunday, we're gonna go to a sports bar that we don't really know any of these people. But we're gonna be wearing a jersey or a hat. What's that? That's a cosplay. You really don't know those football teams? You ain't on any of those football teams. And all these other people wearing the jerseys and stuff, they're cosplaying. They're cosplaying football. A. B, we're going to this bar and we're cheering and hanging out with people we don't know and getting really excited and jumping up and down, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. We are geeking out on some football with strangers. It's not much different than a con. So I just tell these cats, like, we have more in common than we think we do. We're just geeking out on different things. But make no mistake, everybody geeks out on something. Like, I'm a Niners fan, and I'll be geeking out on Niners. Question? Yes, right.
This question may be a little different, but I just want to know, what's your stance on piracy?
Piracy. Dude, it's weird. It's like when we did Hang Loose, we were the most torrented film on the sites that month for Hang Loose. We're like, Asians be torrenting the hell out of it. Part of me's like, you pay for it, something. I get it's a generation gap, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if it's $2, like, just go pay the $2. Like, me, $5, like, I just paid $5. But I understand the new generation, they don't really buy a lot of stuff. Like, my little cousin's computers is like, everything, I'm like, they haven't paid for nothing in years. Like, what the hell? So I get it. And also, I come from the Philippines, but they pirate everything. But my whole thing is, on the first level of things, as an artist, I just want people to see it. There's that aspect of it. And then on the second level, as the business side of it, I do want people to get compensated. You know what I'm saying? To a greater or lesser degree, it's even like creating these digital films with this Asian American genre that we're doing. That you'll hear about it very soon because we're formulating right now, and it's going to be a lot of people you guys know about. But it's about trying to make content affordable where it can be less pirating. Even though pirating is going to go on, that's part of it. That's fine. But also, if we can make it such a price point that we're like, why not pay for it? Or if there's a bigger message behind it than just, if the audience understands, if your generation understands, like, if we're trying to create an Asian American genre, right? Say we sold 20,000 units on iTunes, but they're saying, well, 30,000 torrents got ripped that month alone. You're going, if that number was 60,000, what that number would mean would be more to the media, let alone people can make money, but what that means is the dollar. Again, we're kind of like bypassing our buying power. We as a community have to say what our buying power is, and part of that is the analytics of how much money is being spent on being made. So I think part of it goes, I'm just glad you saw it, but then the other thing is when we really try to galvanize the community and we really try to create this genre right, hopefully we get to a price point we can lower the piracy and really build up the cause, because we're like, no, we need to support because we're trying to create analytics that are going to really help us in the long run. That's what I really want. Question? Yeah.
Hey, Dante. First of all, I'm proud to say that I was one when you went to LA. But I was in first grade when Rufio came to college. And I just wanted to let you know I'm just here to pay my respects, because I really think, you may not know, like, it's obvious the effects you have, I guess, in Hollywood and for Asian Americans, but like seeing your face up there, you know, and going to like an all-boys school, it was really crazy, and it lasted into high school where, you know, I would walk into a classroom and people would say, call me Rufio.
That's cool, man. You must have been cool.
Well, honestly, I didn't have that much like self-confidence, but then I was like, oh, Rufio's a good-looking guy, so
Thank you.
yeah, and then I went on to college to study racial identity and got a master's in multicultural education because of these things that matter to me, and I think it really all started with you. I also really like City Guys.
Thank you. Yeah, my little brother City Guys. Shout out to Dante Basco.
I love that. But my question is, congratulations on your success, but do you have any regrets about where your path went?
Wow. No, I mean, thank you so much. Great. That's awesome. That's cool. See, like one of those things that means a lot, not just to me, just I think it means a lot is when people come to me and go, you were the first cool Asian guy I saw on film or television. That's kind of cool. Like, not even take me out of the equation. Just start to have these characters that are deemed as cool, because Asians have been depicted as not cool for so long. And that's not cool, you know, to me. We have so much a longer way to go. I mean, it's still not sad, it is what it is, but it's still, in this country, if you ask the average person, like, who's the most famous Asian actor or something like that, they're still going to say Jackie Chan or Jet Li. They're not Asian American. It's Kung Fu. Bruce Lee, he's a guy. I'm with Bruce, that's cool. I'm with all those guys. I'm just saying it's sad that we haven't created the Asian American leading men, you know what I'm saying, in the way that we need to. And that's one of my goals. As far as regrets, I mean, regrets is a strong word. The older you get, you don't get regrets. It's just, you know, it's all been good. It's been a great ride. Like, my life is good. I can never complain. I've done some great things. There's some mistakes that we do along the way as far as artists and just as human beings, that we make mistakes. And you wish you could have maybe done this earlier, done that earlier, maybe made a few different decisions. But they're not really regrets, they're just lessons that you learn. It all still makes you who you are now, what you're doing today. Yeah, so I can't really say regrets. I would just say, you know, I think the thing about, if you're in Hollywood long enough, even short, but everyone's been in Hollywood a long time, they all have their personal true Hollywood story. Like, that's just it. If you look at anybody, you sit with an actor long enough, and you get to hear their true Hollywood story. And there's so much crazy stuff that goes on in LA. And part of being around for over 25 years, you know, thankfully you survived. Literally, I've had friends that died, drug overdoses, and other things. Left town because they just couldn't hack the town. It's a hard town. It's probably one of the hardest industries there are to be in. And that's sad to see friends go, like, give up on the dream or the lifestyle or whatever. Or other friends that just, you know, weren't able to really achieve or do the roles that they wanted to do. And, you know, I kind of go, it's always been kind of cool to be me. So I can't complain. But thank you. Questions? Yes. All right.
Hi there. I was curious because I know that one of the other industries where there are not a lot of Asian Americans is on Broadway, and you mentioned that you were big into dance. Have you ever considered, or have you ever been on Broadway? And what are your feelings on Asian Americans being on Broadway?
I'd love to do Broadway. I ain't never done Broadway, man. I'm from Atlanta. What the hell? I mean, there isn't, you know what, it's a funny thing, like, you would think there's not a lot of Asians on Broadway, which probably is true, but the reality is there's a gang of Filipinos on Broadway. Like, in almost every, I don't know the exact stat, but I think probably every musical in the last 20, or maybe 30, 40 years, there's been at least a Filipino in the cast. Going back to the original West Side Story. The thing about Filipinos is we're so adaptable that we're halftime we're playing, you know, Latinos and other Asians. As far as Asian stories on Broadway, no. I mean, Flower Drum Song, The King and I. King and I, this is one of those things when you're like an Asian actor coming up, they all look at you like, you're gonna do King and I someday. Damn. Now you're like, damn, I did The King and I. I mean, my boy Blue Diamond Phillips did King and I. He's doing good. He's a singer. You have to sing. I'm not a great singer. I'm not a great singer. Like, I love to sing, but when you're like messing with that Broadway scene, they can sing. And they sing like a Broadway style, which is, let me tell you something about auditions. Are hard. Auditions are hard, right? But like, I'm still very secure as an actor. I go in, even if I'm not right, I'm gonna rock it, my style. Whether you hire me or not, or like it or not, like, I'm gonna be happy with what I did. But when you have to sing at the audition, it's nerve-wracking. A, because I'm not a good singer. A. And B, you sit outside that room and you start to hear the other people sing. They're singing. They're singing. And you're like, I'm about to go in here and sing not very good. And try to, like, personality this song. Yeah, but, you know, I would love to do Broadway. Maybe hopefully in a straight play. Maybe my play gets to, you know, Broadway, off Broadway, at least. We'll see what happens. Wait.
Two more.
Two more questions? Two more questions. Yes.
What are your thoughts on the emasculation of the Asian male in media? And did you develop over the years a personal stance, or your current film company, on how to, like, counteract that? Or, you know, like, would you take roles that...
Yeah, I'm not down with that.
Okay. Just, like, talk about that.
I'm not down with that. I mean, I get it. I don't get it. Actually, I don't get it. I don't know how that comes from. Like, cats like Tim Delgado is definitely 100% against it. Y'all know Tim?
Yeah.
Tim's my boy. He's crazy. That dude is real life crazy in real life. But part of this whole thing is, like, straight up, he wants to, like, kill that emasculation. And I think it's happened. It's happened to it's happened to a lot of communities. This is what it is. It's not, again, it's not just an Asian thing. Part of being ethnic in America and trying to assimilate, especially if you're ethnic, is emasculation. Part of the things of African Americans are upward African Americans. Every African American you find always in, like, a lot of, like, the Fortune 500 companies or whatnot. You probably ask your friends and they think they're all emasculated because trying to get up there, trying to make themselves less than, you know what I'm saying, to just feel not to, like, make anybody feel scared or make anybody feel, you're making yourself less than for others, right? So part of it is not just on them, whoever they are, the industry, the man, whatever. And a lot of it's on us. Part of it is our responsibility to just not do that, not be that. And again, yeah, with our company, with Kinetic, it's really about trying to put love stories with Asian American men, for sure. I haven't, in my career, it's never been a part of my career. I don't know. Like I said, I guess I'm from the neighborhood, so it was always like, they barely even knew what I was when I first got to Hollywood. They didn't even know what a Filipino was. They're like, what are you? I'm like, I'm Filipino. They're like, what is that? And I'm like, what kind of roll is this? They're like, this is a Mexican roll. And I'm like, we're part Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Or they're like, this is a Chinese roll. You're like, my grandmother is half Chinese. Therefore, I can play this. They're like, this is a Vietnamese roll. That's Southeast Asian. That's what we are. I mean, but as far as the masculine, first and foremost, it goes to the artist and the person themselves to do that. But it also goes, one of my big things a lot of people want to be actors, that's great. But I want writers. We need the stories. It really starts with the stories. If there's no stories to tell, it's hard for the actors to you know what I'm saying, to act error. So I always try to encourage writers to write novels, write scripts, write plays, because it starts on the page, always. But as far as emasculating, we just as Asian men have to just stop that shit. First and foremost, yeah. Well, so we got one more question, one more right here.
Hi, I have a feeling,
Two.
when is my birthday?
Happy birthday. Will I sing happy birthday to you? I just told you I was a badass. Can I get help? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. What? Mine? Happy birthday to you. Okay. Happy birthday.
How do you feel about your role of Dolph?
Dolph. Yeah, anybody watch But I'm a Cheerleader?
Yes.
Y'all gotta watch But I'm a Cheerleader, man. Y'all ain't hip if you ain't seen But I'm a Cheerleader. I play this gay wrestler named Dolph. I'm serious. Y'all didn't see it? So But I'm a Cheerleader is about these kids that are gay that get sent away to a gay camp to get straight. And I play Dolph, a gay wrestler. It's crazy. First of all, it's a crazy film. My memory of that film is awesome because it's the first time I went to Sundance. It's a big Sundance film, and it did really well at Sundance, and it was like a Sundance sweetheart kind of film. And it had a great cast: Natasha Lyonne, Clea DuVall, Kathy Moriarty, Kate Pardue. It's a great cast. RuPaul was in the house, and it was the first time I played gay, which was crazy. And I had to kiss a guy a few times. That's one of my memories. That was crazy. We made out. It happens, dude. We're actors. It happens. You shake hands and you make out and fuck it. But what was the question about that particular movie? The thing about that film, the great thing about that film that I love is when they offered me the film. First of all, I go and read it, and first of all, he wasn't a wrestler. He was the quarterback for the football team. His name was Dolph. He was supposed to be this 6'2" blonde Dolph. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like Dolph Lundgren. Like, he's supposed to be Dolph, right? And I'm like, what am I doing reading for this shit? And it's like gay. He's like gay, but he's like not. He's like a straight gay guy, right? Like a jock, like a gay jock, basically. So I go and I read it. And I'm like, man, they're not gonna hire me for this because this is like, they want a big 6'2" blonde dude, right? And so the director calls me up and she's like, Dante, I want to hire you. I'm like, what? What do you mean? And she was like, well, Dolph is the boy next door and you're the boy next door. But that was like so amazing to me because she really saw outside of ethnicity and outside of race, and she just saw the core like, no, you're this character, not what this description of what it is, but who it actually is. And I was like, with a director like that, like, I definitely have to work with her, you know what I'm saying? And that's brilliant. That's what I love about that project. And then she was like, you know, you have to kiss a guy. And I'm like, I'm an actor. Don't even go there. She was like, you have to use your tongue. I'm like, you know what, let me look at this script and check this out and see how this is going to go down. But there's tons of stories with that movie, but that was great. So are we out of time?
More or less, we want to give everyone time to have like a meet and greet afterwards.
Oh yeah, so we got a meet and greet. But should I end it on a poem?
Yeah.
End it on a poem. I was going to do some other poems, but then we just got into a conversation. You guys are so interesting. We're talking about crazy stuff. Someone set it off over here with some crazy questions and took it down the rabbit hole. I just end it like this. I'll do these poems. This is just Filipino. This is You know, like the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, this is the history lesson of Dante Basco. Thoughts from around my mind, thoughts from around my mind. Now ask yourself, who's this kid that stands before me? Hope he doesn't vote me quick, stick him in another category. Well, shit. He really doesn't fit in any. Brown like a copper penny, yet with Asiatic eyes, I see to my surprise, he's got a black nose. But on the real, I'm a Filipino. And to break it down further still, I will tell you I descend from an island where the natives run around nearly naked named Negritos. Translation, little black men. Black as the shadows in the glorious sun, but then came a Chinaman, maybe it was Japan, who mixed in the Asiatic blood. Drip, drop, drip, rips my tribal. Here comes the Bible of a man from Spain who left me with a Spanish name from a little conquered islands from where I came. Confused, I question it. I wound up here where I found joy. Recognize I am a brown boy in America. A place where you are judged by the color of your skin, black, white, and here I am, standing on the land of another brown man. Now that's irony that I can see. Thoughts from around my mind, you got to give me time on this. Thoughts from around my mind, but my grandpa says just throw your line and fish. When I say I'm fishing, it means I'm searching for a deeper meaning, a strong feeling, realizing everything I'm seeing isn't what's seeming. The world in which we live in, the religion I was raised on now raises questions. Questions. Everything they tell you, don't buy everything they try to sell you. Promises of heaven once in life, a living hell through me. I'm here to tell you that the religion that they want me to believe in got me subconsciously accepted before I was saved by Jesus Christ. I was a heathen. Me and the Africans and Indians and Puerto Ricans and Mexicans and Dominicans and Koreans and all the other Asians, and I can never do that. Because somewhere in the back of my mind I have to hate myself forever because I know I'll never look like their God, but God, I ain't mad at you. Because God, I know the truth. I am you. Like you are me. Like I am them. Like they are us. Like, yo, this is who we are. See, some speak of the revolution and they say it won't be televised, and they're right. The revolution is going on. It's the revolution of the mind, and this revolution is not a black or white thing, or in between the rich and poor. It's those who are awake and those who are asleep. And this is a wake-up call. So wake up, y'all, before we fall. Wake up, Uncle Sam. He's a relative of mine, but his wife is a hoe. You beat her and cheated, though. And I fear you may murder her. And furthermore, you and I live in a time of no good guys asking for what I consider your friends to look at people of color ethnic. Shh. I say, fuck the police. Furthermore, this country, do you know how it feels to live young and hungry and angry? People looking at me like they want to hang me. Why do you make me want to elevate above you? You make me hate you when I should love you. Because when you break it down in the biology, I see that we're the same, and that's the God in me. The God in me. The God in me. Part of me. The God in us. Ashes to ashes. Dust to dust.